video. Usually I don't do videos like this, but today we are going to make an exception because today I launched my Locals app, which is something we'll talk about during this live stream. Now, today I was supposed to do an episode of Aquatic Wetline where I talked about my top 10 favorite fish from Asia, but that has been postponed, and that will take place this coming Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. But tonight, we are just going to chill and relax in front of my 125-gallon aquarium with my new camera that I got today. And this camera is a lot better than the camera on my laptop, and we'll talk about that as well as some other things here on this video, this fun little live stream that I have planned for you. So we're going to wait for some people to come in. So this is going to be like a unannounced Q&A with Aqua Alex, or chilling with Aqua Alex as I call it. So let's begin by talking about this new camera that I have, and it's really, really good. It's actually showing the fish tank really, really well. But, oops, that wasn't good. Okay, there we go. That's better. I'm trying to make sure you can see some of the fish. But anyway, this new camera is actually a tablet that I got from Metro PCS. So my mom had to go get a new phone today at Metro PCS, and I guess they have a promotion now. If you've been a member of Metro PCS for more than a year, then you're entitled for a free tablet. So however many years you've been a part of Metro PCS, that's how many free tablets you'll be getting. So my mom has been with Metro PCS for about 3 years, so she got 3 tablets, and I ended up getting one. And this is what I'm live streaming on right now, the brand new tablet from Metro PCS. And believe it or not, for a off-brand tablet, the camera on it is pretty good, especially for live streaming here on YouTube. But you can see me clear, and also you can see my 125 even with the light that's on there. The light is very bright. It's often too bright for my cell phone and my laptop camera. So the fact that it works on an off-brand tablet is just shocking to me, but I'm happy that it works. So today was actually a really busy day for yours truly, Aqua Alex. Today I had to launch my new website, which is now up and running, and I've been mentioning this a lot on my YouTube channel, but this new website is called Locals. It's a content creator website. And basically, in simple terms, it's like a YouTuber version of Peacock or Netflix. It's where subscribers can pay for a subscription and they get exclusive content that you won't see on YouTube or behind the scenes kinds of stuff. So that's what my Locals app is. It launched today, and I'm going to be posting plenty of fish store tours, aquarium videos, and fish room tours that I normally don't post here on YouTube, so that's what the fish keeper side of it will be. But I'm also going to be doing cooking and baking videos. I'm also going to be doing music streams. I'm also going to be doing live Q&As and other fun stuff, including behind the scenes tours of my special videos, like my 1000th video coming up, like my 30th birthday bash coming up. So there's a lot of things you can look forward to on Locals. So I definitely recommend checking it out. It's only $15 a month for all the exclusive content, plus the ability to be part of the community and interact with the community. And you can also post in there. And for $20 a month on my Locals app, you'll be able to do everything for the $15, plus you'll get a Zoom call with me, you'll get an interview for my YouTube channel, and if you are wanting to host your own series, you'll be able to host your own show here on American Alex Cardinelli YouTube channel. So I'm going to try to move away so you guys can see some of the fish. So my first video is actually live on Locals right now. So it's in the community section of my YouTube if you want to watch it. It basically is just I think it's a 9-minute video of me explaining what I explained to you, but more in depth. So that's awesome. That's something that I wanted to talk about briefly. Let's see, what else is there I could talk about? We'll talk about fish in just a second. So the Locals app is already launched. And again, since it is brand new, I don't expect people to pay right away. I am offering a free trial for the first 5 members. So once the first 5 spots are taken, unfortunately the 6th person is going to have to pay the $15. But for the first 5 people, I am offering a free trial from now until August 31st. Just use the code AACAUG23. And then my next free trial I've already scheduled for the whole month of December as a Christmas present for my wonderful viewers. All right, I think that's enough of Locals talk. I'll make a commercial for it later on tonight that'll play on my show. So this video is just going to serve as a fun live stream because I still wanted to go live because I was supposed to do an episode of Aquatic Wetline tonight, and I was going to talk about my top 10 favorite fish from Asia, but I got caught up. I ended up taking about 3 hours editing the Locals video, and then I had to go to the grocery store, and I had to go to Metro with my mom, and a lot of things happened that was out of my control with time. There's only 24 hours in a day, I have to remind myself, so I can't really do everything I want in a day, but that's A-okay. All right, so now let's talk about fish. And specifically what I want to do with the 125-gallon aquarium that's behind me. Right now, everything is perfect with it. The water is crystal clear. All the fish are healthy, and the silver dollars are spazzing out, which is typical silver dollar behavior. Everything is good in here. All the fish are healthy. I love my chocolate cichlids. They're one of the showpiece fish in there, besides the male wide bars. You'll notice the male wide bars from the deep orange they have, which is really beautiful. And at this size, generally you'll probably pay about $150 to $200. But I got them when they were really big, and I grew them out to that size. So that's awesome. But I would like to talk about plans that I do have for this 125. And unfortunately, plans do have me rehoming a majority of the fish in here, with the exception of these beautiful geophagus right here. As you can see, the dark blue coming into them already. Those geophagus are staying. The chocolate cichlids are probably going to stay, or at least the male is going to stay. I don't know about the female yet. The 3 Asparaginus are going to stay. Basically, all the South American cichlids are going to stay, and possibly the pike will probably stay too. But the monsters are probably going to be going. The tiger shovelnose is going to be rehomed. At least 2 of the black bars are going to be rehomed, and the 2 hard belly silver dollars are going to be rehomed. Of course, the shabumpkin is going to be rehomed. The fire mouse is going to be rehomed, and whatever else I decide to rehome, I'll rehome as well. And there is a specific reason why I'm rehoming so many of these fish, is to make room for the fish that I have in the 75-gallon, which are my silver arowana, my very beautiful true albino Oscar, and a couple of black pacus that I have growing out in the 75-gallon. So they're going to be making their way into the 125, as well as my blood parrots eventually. But I think right now the blood parrots are still a little bit small for the 75. But definitely the silver arowana, the Oscar, and the black pacu, tambaki, they're all ready to come in here, which is why I'm going to be rehoming a lot of these fish. The tiger shovelnose, 2 of the silver dollars, the Mylosoma, and the others are going to be rehomed to make room for the fish that are in the 75. On top of that, I'm going to take all these rocks out and all the artificial plants and the driftwood out, And I'm probably going to remove all the fish in here for an hour or so as I add in some sand. And I'm probably going to do white sand because I like white sand. It's a lot cheaper than the black. So I'm probably going to add in some white sand and probably about a good inch or two just to get a little bit of depth. And we'll add in some more driftwood pieces and some more artificial plants. I'll plop the fish back in. And then, well, actually, before I do that, before I add in the severums and the chocolates and the existing cichlids, I'll move in the chocolate and I'll move in the albino Oscar, the arowana, and the pacus first, and then I'll add in the other existing fish in this tank so that they don't pick on the arowana or the fish that were in the 75. The only fish that I think would even try would be the pike cichlid, because he could be a little bastard sometimes thinking everything is food. But he learned the lesson the hard way when he tried to do that with the Jack Dempsey. He got beat up for it. So I'm hoping that the albino Oscar will be smart enough to defend himself against the pike cichlid, but they're both the same size now, so you really can't do any damage to the Oscar. However, he could startle the arowana and force him to jump, so if he even thinks of going after the arowana, he'll probably go to the fish store or live in a 55 by himself, sadly. But I don't think he'll do that. He hasn't gone after anything in here because, as you can see, he's nice and plump because he gets fed every single day. Earthworms in the morning, tilapia in the afternoon, and then if I have time, market shrimp in the evening. So most of these fish get fed 3 times a day, which is why I had problems with the water for so long until I cleaned out the filters, the canister filters I cleaned out, and I added in some more media in there, and now I have no problem with the water. So that's good. So I think it's pretty much everything for the 125 that I mentioned. Adding the sand, some of the livestock changes. Of course, you already know that I'm going to be getting a lid, so I don't have to talk about that. That's pretty self-explanatory when you're talking about an arowana. I already had the lid ordered, so the lid will be coming in soon. Let's see, that's pretty much everything. So I definitely know the 2 silver dollars that I'm going to be keeping. It's this male right here. That one is from Rio Nene. And one of the other males that's also from Rio Nene. And Rio Nene is a river in Peru. The other 2 are actually tank raised, so I don't know why they're so orange. But I know for the Rio Nene ones, that's how they typically look. So that's the 125. The 75 gallon is going in a completely different direction. Once I have everything in the 75 in here, that tank is going to be moving over here in the fish room. And that tank is going to be becoming a Frontosa aquarium. Now, originally, the 75 gallon was going to be a piranha aquarium, but I had to change my mind really fast, unfortunately. But now I'm going to do something that I've always wanted to do, but I've been kind of putting it off. So the 75 gallon is going to be a Frontosa aquarium, probably with like 4, 5, maybe 6 juvenile Frontosas, and they can take a long time to grow. So they'll be very happy in a 75 for a while. So they're going to be sharing a 75 gallon with a couple of clown loaches and a Synodontis cat, most likely of some kind, probably just a regular featherfin Synodontis, since I've already got the largest Synodontis. I've got the Synodontis decoris, which gets over a foot in this tank. So the 75 will just have a regular Synodontis in there. And then maybe the banjo cats that are in the sand will probably have to stay in there, because I'm not going to try to fiddle with the sand to get them out of there. So it'll just be Frontosa, maybe a small school of clown loaches, and a Synodontis in the 75. And I'll throw on another canister on there. I found, believe it or not, I found a really, really old canister filter in my garage today. And I didn't even know that I had that. It must have came with this tank. And I must have just threw it in the garage. So I'm going to set that up and put that on the 75. It looks like it's a really old version of a fluval I forgot the name, but I know it's at least 2012. It's the one that was released in 2012. So that's way over a decade. But anyway, that's the 125 and plans for the 75. And the 55 next to me, I still have no idea what I want to do with that. My dad's been throwing around the idea that he wants it. But in case he doesn't, then maybe I'll turn that into a saltwater tank or just keep a flower horn in there. That would be pretty cool as well. So let's open up the questions. If anyone is watching live and you have any questions, please feel free to post them in the comments. Hey, my friend Ray's Reality is in the house. I didn't even see the comments in the chat. They gotta have my laptop on me. Ray says, don't forget to like, y'all. Show some love. Thank you, Ray. I appreciate that. What brand of canisters do you use? I have the Fluval FX4, which is right underneath me, and I can hear it bubbling. And that one, I have no idea what it is. It's a Fluval of some kind, though. It's a Fluval rated for a 75-gallon. So probably if it was the only canister on here, the water would not be looking clear like it is now. Thank God I have the Fluval FX4. And the one I have in the garage, I think it's a Fluval FX2 or 3, but it's one of the very first Fluval FX numbers, which is probably why I didn't use it. It's really old. But it's going to work on the 75 because the 75 already has enough filtration, in my opinion, with the two hang on the back filters that are on there. They're powered for 75, 90 gallons each. So I know I'm probably going to get asked, why is there a goldfish in there? The shabumpkin, and then you'll notice a little comet goldfish in there. The reason that they are in there is because earlier this spring, I had plans of setting up a pond. But when you live in an HOA, sometimes things don't go your way, and you always have to make changes. Basically, my plans for a pond were said, hell no, you're not having a pond. So basically, what I had to do was find homes for koi and some of the fancier shabumpkins and goldfish. And whatever else I couldn't get for home went in here. And most of them became tiger shovelnose food. But the ones that did live have grown to a massive size, which would be the shabumpkin and the one orange comet that is remaining. But I think he's not going to be remaining for long. I see the pike stick would have his eyes on him a lot. And also the tiger shovelnose has his eyes on him a lot. So I think one day when I forget to feed, the tiger shovelnose will take out the orange comet or the pike. Have you ever tried UV light sterilizer? No, I actually haven't. And the reason being, most of my fish stores don't have them up to 125 gallons. They only have the Marine Land hang on the back one, which is like for 55 gallons, and I think it goes up to 75 gallons, but that probably won't work well here. But I think it could, because I do have plenty of filtration, so maybe I could pick up one and see what it does. I think it would help a lot. That is actually a good question. The UV sterilizer is something that I've been wanting for a while. So how is everyone's first day of August? August is my favorite day of the year, or day. August is my favorite month of the year. There's 31 days in a month, so you can't just have one day be a month. But August is my favorite month of the year, not only because of my birthday, but a lot of positive things happen for me each and every year. So hopefully the same will happen for me this year, and that holds true as well. Now, speaking of what I would like to get for my birthday this year, of course, new fish is on the agenda. And one of my local fish stores actually has, right now, a super large Geophagus windmilleri that I've been having on my mind for quite a long time. I seen it on Saturday when I met my friend Garcia Aquatics, and then ever since then I've been thinking about it, and I really, really, really want him. So he's still at the fish store because I called today and checked, but he's got a pretty hefty price. So, but I do want him, so he'll probably become one of my birthday presents. And then on the 12th, I'm going to go fish store shopping with my friend, and that'll probably be when I get the Frontosa and put them in the 75. And that'll also probably be the day that I move the 75-gallon over here in the fish room so that my mom can have her living room back and I can have my fish room. But you know how that works. I can't wait for the fall. Yes, the fall is going to be awesome. I like the fall too. The fall is actually one of my favorite seasons, although really in South Florida there's no such thing as seasons because it's pretty much summer and spring all year long. But here in South Florida in October, November, it cools down to about 75, and that's perfect weather to go for a swim. I wouldn't dare go swimming right now because it feels like you're diving into a shower. I like my pool water to be cold when I'm going swimming. Wiz is in the house. Hey Wiz, how are you? Wiz says they have the green machine that works on up to 120 gallons aquariums. And Wiz's birthday is on August 7th. August 7th, I think that's next... Would that be next Tuesday? I think that's next Tuesday. Anyway, happy birthday, Wiz. I hope you have a great birthday. That is, a lot of great people have birthdays in August. So that's amazing. But, you know, I was just thinking today, I haven't bought a new fish in a long time. The last time I ended up buying a new fish was 2 months ago, which is kind of the record for me. Believe it or not, that's a record, because usually when I was working, every month or so I bought a new fish, but it's been 2 months since I've had any new fish, so that's incredible. But hey, that's awesome, because that means that the fish that I have are getting excellent care, and they're growing and they're loving your life. Yeah, next Monday, I think that would make more sense. Next Monday is their birthday, because I think next Tuesday would be the 8th. So that's awesome. I just can't believe that the year is going by so fast. It's already August, and then we've only got September, October, November, and December left. I agree with you. I agree with you, Ray. It is super hard. It is super, super hard not to buy any fish. But when the local fish stores jack up the prices, it could be a little bit easier. Because this Saturday I had like either $19 or $29 on me, and there really wasn't anything I could get with that price, because everything that I wanted was either $30, $60, $100, and more. And I was very, very, very surprised to see baby Oscars for $20 a pop when I'm used to getting them for $8, $9, $10 at most. So I was very, very shocked to see that. I want to buy some shrimp for, I think it says, I want to buy some shrimp for the 90-gallon. Nice. Shrimp are very cool. I like shrimp. Especially the orange ones. Those are very, very cool. I'm actually surprised that I could play my live video back without any interruption on my tablet, because usually that would be a big no-no when it comes to live streaming. So like I was saying at the beginning of today's video, if any of you are Metro PCS users and you've been there for a couple of years, then if you go into the store to either get an upgrade or whatever, they'll give you whatever tablet for how many years you've been there. So my mom had to get a new phone, so they gave her 3 new tablets, and I ended up getting one. Yes, Oscars are actually getting popular again. I have noticed that, especially here in South Florida, which is probably why their price has increased, unfortunately. When one fish becomes so popular that they sell out fast, it drives up the price point, unfortunately. And a good example of an expensive Oscar is the albino tiger Oscar that I have in the other room in my 75-gallon. He was a $30 Oscar at about 2.5 to 3 inches, and he's just an ordinary albino Oscar. So for me to pay $30 for him was kind of steep, but I got him because he has the intense orange, the true albino eyes. So he's going to turn out to be a very, very beautiful fish. But when it's a real quality fish, I don't mind paying a certain amount of price. If it's a quality fish and I know it's going to be exactly what I'm paying for, then I don't have a problem paying a lot of money. Which again brings me to the large geophagus that's at my local fish store right now. That is actually a showpiece fish, and I think it would be one of my display fish in the 125, because the only display fish that I have right now that I could think about would be my orange spot severn, because that's the fish that a lot of people talk about when they come see my fish. They always say that, oh, the orange spot severn is very beautiful. And I say thank you. And then they ask, is it my favorite fish? And they're surprised when I say not really, because I've kept plenty of severns before, and I know that they're very beautiful. But when I tell them my favorite fish in here is all of them, then they understand. I really don't have a favorite fish in the 125. I like them all. But if I had to pick a certain favorite, I don't know which one it would be. I can't pick a certain favorite. In the 75 I could. The 75 would either be my silver arowana or the albino Oscar. Wiz says, I'm going to send you a picture of my flagtail and my indodatnoid to your email. Awesome. I wish there was a way I could show that in the live stream, but I can't because I'm broadcasting on my tablet right now. I paid $30 for my chocolate cichlid. Yeah, chocolates can be pretty pricey depending on the area that you live. The two that I got, I paid $20 a piece for back in Christmas time. And I can imagine if I saw them at the size that they are now, right back there, they'd probably be $40, $50. It just depends on the season too. Like right now, they're so readily available from the wild that if they're not tank raised and available tank raised, fish stores can get them from the wild and get them at a good price. But from when I've spoken to some of my local fish store owners, for some odd reason they're very reluctant to bring in wild caught fish. In reality, I think it should be the opposite way. Wild caught fish are very, very hardy. Most of them are, except for wild caught discus and the real sensitive fish. But wild caught Oscars, chocolates, Cerassalmonids, and things like that, they're very, very hardy. They come in and they bring a whole bunch. A lot of the South American importers will actually send you more than they're supposed to send you. And that's because a lot of the South American people are very genuine, they're very nice, and they're very nice in that way, and that they'll overgive. And that's what I really like about South American people. I used to help one of my fish stores do wild-caught fish unboxings, and he'd always say, I wish they would stop sending so many, because he'd have a hard time selling some of the fish. But that was great for me, because then I knew that they'd always be there, and I could always get them once they settled in from being shipped and being wild-caught and stuff. So that's how I ended up with wild-caught discus at one point. That's how I ended up with stingrays. That's how I ended up with baby arowanas, all the exotic South American fish that I've had as a teenager. All right, let's see. Have you ever seen the blue Oscar? I wonder if they have been injected like the glowfish. No, I haven't seen that, thank God. I haven't seen that, thank God. I probably wouldn't like it. I know they have glowfish corridoris right now, which is an absolute shame, in my opinion. I'm not a big fan of that. And they're also coming out with glowfish convict cichlids, pink glowfish convicts, which again, something that I'm absolutely thrilled about. But I understand that the aquarium hobby is going to continue growing and growing and growing. So they're going to continue experiencing with more and more and more hardy, popular species. So it doesn't surprise me that the convict is going to be used, because everybody either uses the convict for display or they breed them and use them for feeder fish. So right now I have one 2-inch chocolate cichlid with my discus. They literally love hanging out. That's awesome. There's going to be a lot of people that will tell you that chocolate cichlids and discus don't belong together. But personally speaking, I think it's a bunch of BS, because in the wild, you'll find chocolate cichlids and discus together. You'll also find waru and severums with discus, angels and festivums with discus. So pretty much every South American cichlid that's in the aquarium hobby, they live next to discus. So I'm not saying that you can go get a red terror and throw it in with a discus, because we all know what the result's going to be, or a really aggressive Crenchicicla or a peacock bass, because we know what the result's going to be. But when it comes to more docile, timid, semi-aggressive South Americans, like the waru, the chocolates, the severums, and hell, maybe even Oscars, I think it should be okay, as long as you have a really good-sized aquarium. Obviously, it's not something I would try in a 4-foot aquarium. A 125 or larger would be what I would go for if I was thinking about doing discus with chocolates and other South American cichlids, because that would be very beneficial for the bull cichlids in general. And basically, a lot of the South American cichlids have the same diet, which is protein-based. So they both like tilapia, market shrimp, and bloodworms and whatnot. So I think it's a great idea to have them together. And as the chocolate matures and grows up and colors up, it'll be very, very beautiful. You know, I had a theory about chocolate cichlids growing up in the aquarium hobby. Most people say that chocolate cichlids can turn into eagle fish, but that has not necessarily been the case in my personal experience. It all depends on what you're growing them up with. If you're growing them up with Pyrachromis maniguense or aggressive cichlids, then they have no choice but to be aggressive. But if you got them in a passive aquarium with things like angelfish, severums, silver dollars, you know, fish that aren't going to terrorize each other, then they're going to feel at home and they're going to feel more passive, and the only fish they'll go after is each other. But the one thing I will say is that they're going to be more aggressive feeders than discus, but there are ways to combat that, and that is to overfeed and, of course, do more water changes. So the chocolate cichlid or the black belt cichlid, which one do you like better? I actually like the chocolate cichlid more, although I do like the black belt cichlid. That's a very classic Central American staple in the aquarium hobby. A lot of people prefer the Cynospilium because it gets more intense purple-red color, but the black belt is like a OG cichlid that you don't see too much of anymore, unfortunately. And speaking of Central American cichlid, I think you just saw my fire mouse chase my female Czech Dipsy around. It's crazy how that works. A little redhead chasing around a beautiful female. I guess that's how redheads get their woman. Just kidding. All right. This is actually fun. I should do this more often. This is actually something that I would be doing on locals too, but I will of course do them here on YouTube because you can't forget what created you. So I'll be doing some of these live streams over here on YouTube as well. Yes, that's one of my chocolates. The larger one is the male, and the smaller one is the female. But I've been debating whether or not if I just want to keep the male or both still, because the male is always beating up on the female, and I feel like if I rehome the female, she'll have a better life, and she won't have to worry about being beaten up all the time. I could always put her in the Frontosa tank when it's set up, when all the other fish are moved in here. but she'll probably feel weird with a bunch of Africans when she comes from South America. But never know. We can figure it out, I'm sure. Oh, the Jaguar cichlid is. The Jaguar cichlid is my favorite, but the Cubans are pretty fly as well. Yes, the Cubans are very, very beautiful. I love Jaguars too. The camera is good right now. I know Bingo was choppy. Yes, that was horrible. I don't know why it does that. I think it's my laptop. I have to get a new computer. I wonder if there's a way I could host the Bingo on my tablet. I probably could. But the thing about the Bingo is I have to have like 3 or 4 tabs open on Microsoft Edge. And when you have multiple tabs, for some reason it starts freezing. And that's what I think was happening. I think my StreamYard app was working, but the Bingo Studio started freezing. And when it was doing that, it was sending mixed emotions to StreamYard. And I think StreamYard was like, what's going on with the Bingo app? Why is it going so slow? And then when it caught up, the Bingo app was freezing again. So it was hard for me to like keep a continuous flow. I would start talking and then I'd realize my camera was off. And then when my camera was on, the Bingo thing was freezing. So I don't know what to do about that. I'll have to talk to someone that does another Bingo show. They do a wrestling Bingo, but I'll talk to them and see how they do it. The way they do it, it's flawless. And they say they're doing it on a computer with a computer webcam, so I don't know what's different about mine. It's probably Microsoft Edge. I should go back to Google Chrome. I had no issues with Google Chrome until Google Chrome crashed, and then I couldn't reinstall it. For some reason, I can't reinstall Google Chrome on my computer. It says archive failed to uncompress or something like that. So I think for some reason when I deleted it, it didn't delete off my computer for forever. You're good. The Jaguar is nice. Yes, the Jaguar is actually a very nice fish, except it is super aggressive. It depends. It really depends on the individual fish, though. I've had Jaguars that were laid back, and then I've had Jaguars that tried to kill everything in the aquarium. But generally, I tend to think of them as all being aggressive. Have you ever tried TikTok or Twitch? Yes, I'm actually on TikTok. But I haven't uploaded it since May, and the reason is I really don't have much TikTok content to create, because most of my followers on TikTok, they're all into comedy and stuff. So if I post a fish keeping video, they're gonna be like, "What the hell is this?" Or if I post a video of cooking something, they're like, "Why am I watching a cooking video?" But I do make some funny videos and I post them on there, and some of them do eventually make it onto Saturday Live. Twitch I haven't tried, but I've heard some things about Twitch. I heard good things about Twitch, so I could definitely try that as well. The only reason I found out about Locals was I got an email from some woman that is like the marketing manager of Locals, and her job is to go on YouTube and find people like me that have like a certain number of subscribers, let's say like 10,000. But their views are like in the 40 to a couple hundred range. So her job is to seek people like me out, tell them about Locals, get them to sign up on Locals, and then once we get our account going, we're able to start a subscription service so people can actually sign up, pay a certain amount per month, and they get the exclusive content. So the local stuff actually took me about 3 or 4 months to set up before I got it to where I wanted it to look like and be. So that's why it had a really delayed push, and that's why it started today on August 1st. I really started it in April, and I had planned it to be promoted 1 month earlier on July 1st. but then something happened where my computer kept glitching, and then it shut down the server that my locals was on, so I had to restart. And now we're officially up and running, and I'm ready to go now. And I actually bought a really good camera for locals, but I think I'm going to use this camera too on top of that good camera, because I think the tablet's going to be a lot easier going into places than bringing a really large camera. And I won't look so suspicious with a really large camera. Because a lot of the guys that I see with those cameras kind of look like pedophiles sometimes. That's just a joke, but that's what I think of when I see them. Because a lot of them have those really boogly glasses. What type of stand is your aquarium on? Is that custom made? I have no idea, actually. The 125 I actually bought from somebody that was shutting down his entire aquarium hobby, and the 125 was just one of the aquariums he had left. So I really don't know. He did say that this stand was able to hold 125s, 150s, and 180s. So I'm pretty sure it's custom made, because if it was just a regular Aqua 125 stand, it wouldn't be able to hold any of the other 100 or 6-foot aquariums. Because even though the 125 and 150 is only a 12-inch difference, I don't think the stands are built to handle the extra 12 inches, unfortunately. I mean, you could try and find out. I wouldn't want to, though. It would be a one heck of a mess. I remember when I was living in Massachusetts, and this is why I am so afraid to buy large aquariums secondhand. I actually bought a 125 that was used, and it was 10 years old. I got it for like $25. The guy said it held water, so I figured it was a deal. Well, I set it up, and it held water overnight, which is great. So the next day, I was like, you know what, I'm going to put my fish in here. So the next day, I put my fish in there, and it was great the whole day. Nothing happened. I figured it's going to hold water. So I fed them and went to bed. Everything was fine. And then around 3 or 4 in the morning, I hear like the filter. You know the noise the filter makes when the water level is super, super low? I heard that noise. And then I heard my wave maker stop. And then I heard jumping and flopping. Well, I came downstairs and I saw that the aquarium was at least 50% empty. 50% of the water in the 125 had drained onto the floor, and somehow the seals had either busted or the tank cracked. And that tells me that the seller lied to me, and that the tank probably hadn't been used in many years. So basically what I bought was a ticking time bomb. Sure, it might have held water, but because it wasn't used in so many years, the seals weren't ready for all that pressure and they busted. So the jumping that I heard was actually a 2-foot arowana that I had. And I had a hard time finding him, but luckily for him, he landed in an adjacent 55-gallon aquarium. So he was unharmed. And he had the wherewithal to say, you know what, I'm out of here before the rest of this water falls. But he ended up going to the fish store because I felt bad for him. Because I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to afford a new 125 within 24 to 48 hours. But you know what? I got like $300 in store credit for him. Yes, that's what I was going to say exactly. I would never buy an aquarium over 40 gallons used unless I knew the person personally and how long they had it. That's what I do now. Even if it's the best deal in the world, I'll say no. I'll pay the $1,000, $2,000, whatever it is now, for a brand new tank so that I don't have to worry about it. Although, I will say that one of my friends is a pet store employee, and he says that some of the 125s that they have at PetSmart have been there since COVID. So, but they're still brand new. They haven't even been used once. So I think they're probably still good. It's only been like 3 years, so. I noticed that my local PetSmart at least is trying to limit how many of those tanks they bring in. I got my 100-gallon used and I was scared filling it up, but I was too confident. Some of the older 6-foot tanks that have been treated well are great. They're especially those that are serious hobbyists and they know how to take care of an aquarium. There's no shame in buying them. But I think this person that I bought in Massachusetts, the 125 that busted, I think the person that I bought that from was just trying to get 25 bucks, and he really had that thing lying in a basement or something, which isn't wrong. I would do the same thing, but then again, I wouldn't tell them that I'm sure it'll hold water. I would say I'm not sure. I haven't used it, but yeah, I tried really hard to get my 25 bucks back, but he wasn't budging. So I just blacklisted him and said, screw it. But this tank I knew is brand new because he showed proof of it. He showed me a receipt, and he said it was only a quarantine tank for some African cichlids, and he had just bought in the Fluval FX4. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to buy it from you. I believe you. And he came and delivered it. He set it up, and we were good to go. Knock on wood, nothing is wrong with it. And it'll probably be with me until I get a bigger tank. I'm sure my mom doesn't want to hear that. But it'll be with me until I get that 210 or that 220 that I've always wanted. But I think when I do upgrade, that it's going to go on the other side of my fish room, because I don't like having a tank right next to the stairs. It looks stupid that way. I think I'll put it where my couch is. I plan on getting a custom aquarium from Glass Cages as soon as I have all the money. That is cool. I like custom-made aquariums. The only problem is they're so damn expensive. I wanted to do that. When Tank was still opened, I was looking into it. But even a 30-gallon custom tank was like $3,000. So I was like, damn, you really have to be a millionaire to get a custom tank from them. And unfortunately, they don't know much about fish as they say they do. From what I've heard about them, it's not the best things, unfortunately. I mean, they do actually hire aquarium companies to look after the fish, but from what I've heard is because their filming was in such strict time standards, most of the time they would set up an aquarium, fill it with water, and put in a whole bunch of prime and stuff, and just dump in the fish and hand the fish out to the aquarium maintenance guys. And a lot of celebrities ended up having fish die from ick and velvet from the transfer, and they would tell them, oh, your aquarium maintenance guys can help, we're all done, the show's over. That's what I've heard. So if that's true, then that's very, very, very shady, which probably explains why they're no longer on television anymore. And they actually haven't done that many freshwater tanks, thank God. Poor saltwater fish, though. It's a shame because the saltwater fish are so much more money, too. And I feel bad for all the celebrities to pay all that money and then have all those fish die. It's terrible. But before Tank, there was actually a show, I think it was on National Geographic. I forgot the name of it, but it was filmed in a fish store that's near me in Boca Raton called the Barrier Reef. And I actually know the Chinese guy that was on that show. He's a very, very intelligent gentleman, a very, very kind gentleman, but he's no longer into fish that much, or not so where he would actually get on camera and tell you how much he loves fish. But from that show, for some reason, got cut from National Geographic. But it was the best show out there because those guys actually knew what they were doing. and they didn't set up their clients for failure. And there's a couple of exhibits in Florida, Central Florida, South Florida, where they've actually set up some of the tanks, and the fish are still live there and well. Some of the fish are from 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012. So that's awesome. So if you're from Boca Raton, then just go to the Barrier Reef, I think it is. And if you start talking about a TV show, they'll know what you're talking about. Unless they have new owners now, I'm not sure. But I know when I was at the Barrier Reef several months ago, I overheard people talking about tanks, so I joined in on them. And then I just happened to say, there was once a show on National Geographic that was like Tanked, but I liked it better because they didn't have drama. They actually had like scientific information, like the boring stuff that a hobbyist would enjoy. I know the name now. Fish Tank Kings is the name of it. Fish Tank Kings. It's actually, I still have it, but I don't think it's available in the United States anymore. But if you have one of those apps that gets you like Netflix from other countries, you'll be able to watch it. Fish Tank Kings. I see it on the United Kingdom one, the Thailand, and Vietnam, the Vietnam Netflix. So if I want to watch Fish Tank Kings, I'll have to be Vietnamese for a day or something. But I'll definitely do that. Wow, this is fun. It's unlike any of the other live streams that I do where I have to read from a script. A lot of people notice that. They're like, why are you reading from a script? Well, when I'm doing informal shows, it's hard to just speak from your mind sometimes, because then I'll forget something, and by the time you started the show, it's too late to restart over because I spent all those hours promoting, and you just can't start a live stream over when you advertise it and promote it, which is why when WWE has tech issues, they can't restart Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. They just have to kind of go with it. Well, for me, I'm a perfectionist, so I just can't really just go from it. I want everything to be perfect. So that's why I ended up canceling the bingo this past Sunday, and moved it to this Sunday. And no one was playing, but I think it's because no one could hear what I was saying. So if I was a viewer and I was watching someone barely get a word out, I probably wouldn't want to play bingo either, so I totally understand. So right now, before I forget, I do want to mention that I do have a date figured for the 1000th episode of American Alice Cardinelli. I posted it in the community tab here on YouTube, and a couple of people have said congratulations already. But the 1000th episode is not going to be taking place this month or even next month. It'll be taking place on October 1st, which falls on a Sunday. So I'm very excited about that. There's going to be a couple of things that I'm going to do on there that I've never done before, which includes taking a cake to the face, which is something what my brother suggested to me. He said, hey, you're only going to hit 1,000 episodes once. You might as well do something crazy like that, a crazy prank like that. The other prank idea I said hell no to, but this one I said I'll do because it's a lot more or less painful. It's not as humiliating. I'd rather take a kick to the face than a kick to the balls, I think, any day. But, so we'll be doing that on the 1000th episode. And then, also on the 1000th episode, I'm going to be going fishing here in South Florida. And hopefully, I'll be able to catch some of the exotics that are out here, like snakeheads, Oscars, Pacu, peacock bass, jade goby, and stuff like that. And hopefully bring home some of those exotics that I can quarantine. Because I'd love to get a jade goby. They're a very cool freshwater goby that isn't so dwarf. As a matter of fact, they're not dwarf at all. Jade gobies can reach a foot in length. What do you think about the new AI blade lights? I personally would love to find a large clip of light for a large aquarium without the castle price. You know, to be 100% honest with you, as far as aquarium lighting goes, I am probably one of the most cheapest persons that comes to aquarium lights. I like the basic LEDs because I find them sufficient and they do the job that they need to do, which is provide light for fish. I'm not against the more expensive, high quality lights. I just think that for me, it's way too much money for a light when I could buy an Aqua LED blue light for like $150. But if I were to get that fancier light for a tank this size, it'd be, I don't know, you're looking at $300-400. And if I'm going to spend $300 or $400 on an aquarium equipment, I'd rather just pay for another canister filter. Because in reality, and I know that this is probably going to make a lot of people shake their heads, in reality, in my opinion, an aquarium light is not an essential aquarium equipment. In reality, aquarium light is basically just for visibility for the fish keeper and the people that are viewing the fish. As long as you have sunlight in your home, then really there's no need for an aquarium light, in my opinion. But I say that as a guy that has a light showing right now, so you can take that for whatever you will. Hey, Garcia Aquatics is in the house. Hey, Garcia, how are you? Thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it. And Garcia and I actually went to the fish store earlier. Remember when I was talking about that large geophagus? Well, I met Garcia Aquatics at the fish store on Saturday, and he actually did me a solid on Saturday. He actually bought me a much bigger bottle of prime than what I was going to get or what I could afford to get, so I'm very, very thankful for that. Garcia is a great guy. So for those of you who don't know who Garcia Aquatics is, he's actually a very, very, very wonderful gentleman, and he's also a very, very, very nice YouTuber. So I would like to invite all my personal friends to please check out Garcia Aquatics here on YouTube. He's got some amazing videos, especially MBU puffer feeding video. I think it's an MBU puffer, I could be wrong, but he's got a freshwater puffer feeding video. He's also got Frontosa tanks, and tomorrow at 1:30 p.m., he will be live streaming, and I may make an appearance on that live stream, so I'll leave it at that. But I definitely would appreciate if some of you would check out Garcia Aquatics YouTube channel and subscribe, because at the end of the day, I love supporting other fish keeping YouTubers and all fish keepers in general, but other fish keepers that are on YouTube as well, because believe it or not, some of the more popular YouTubers, they don't treat the smaller YouTube community as equals, unfortunately. So it's very, very, very sad that that happens. So what I always tell myself is that even if I get big someday, which probably will never happen, but even if I did, I'm always going to treat other YouTubers as equal, because at the end of the day, we're all hobbyists that create videos for other hobbyists. And that's something that I really, really am passionate about. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Garcia Aquatics is actually the first fish-keeping YouTuber that I met here in South Florida. I've met people from Mass and New York, but I think Garcia is the first actual YouTuber that I got to meet in person. So that's awesome. So never say never. I never thought I'd get to see a YouTuber from Florida, because I'm not from Florida, unfortunately. I should have been. I tell my parents all the time I should have came down here earlier, because Massachusetts is not the place to be anymore. Not only because of the weather, But there's a whole bunch of crime going on down here. Drugs, gangs, murder, stores being robbed left and right. I just couldn't deal with it anymore. I was like, you know what, I'm out of here. So I came here to Florida. And don't get me wrong, there's crime here in Florida too, but nowhere near as bad as what it was in Western Massachusetts. I just couldn't deal with the clientele in Massachusetts either anymore. A lot of the Massachusetts people, no pun intended to the actual good Massachusetts people, but a lot of them are very snobby, standoffish. A lot of them come across as bigger and better than you as well. So thank you, Wiz, for tuning in. I appreciate it. I really do appreciate that. I think I will be big one day. It's just a matter of when. But it's almost been 10 years now. And my brothers always tease me. They say, hey, 10 years, I don't think you're going to be anything if it's been 10 years and you're still not monetized. But you never know. Yes, I could do that. Hey, Alex, send the link so I could come up. Awesome. Yes, I'll do that right now on my computer. I apologize if you hear any typing in the background. Wow. Yeah, this tablet is a lot better than my other computer camera that I use. There's no issues whatsoever. But I don't know if I could stream on the internet on my tablet. All right, let's see here. Here we go. Is there a way I could show the comments on the screen? There has to be some way. I know I could highlight it. Let's see here, pin. Okay, so I just posted Garcia Aquatics link in the chat, but I'll also post it in the comments when this video archives. Darn. I'm so used to StreamYard where they had the little banner thing that shows up on the screen, but I don't see that here. Let's say check on the live video settings here. Perfect. Let's see. Nope, that's thumbnail. We don't need that. Here we go. Okay. Darn. It's not letting me show the banner. But I could highlight it, that's all it does. Alrighty. Alright, how do I get back to my camera now? That's cool. Now I can see the live chat on my camera too now. All right. So Garcia actually has a Fahaka puffer, which is very, very cool. Fahakas are cool puffer. I actually almost had one day. I saw one at Aquatic Rarities, Malone's Monsters, when they were still here in South Florida. I saw a Fahaka puffer, and I was going to get him. And then I saw a Niger catfish, and I ended up getting a Niger catfish instead. But the Fahaka puffer I almost got. You know, South Florida had lost 2 amazing exotic fish stores in the span of 3 months, unfortunately. Oh, I know what you mean, Garcia. You want to come on the live stream. Shoot. There must be a way I can get you on here. Even though I'm on YouTube Live instead of StreamYard. Huh. I'm gonna try to figure out how I can get you on here, Garcia. Because I'm on YouTube Live tonight, not StreamYard, because I'm broadcasting on my tablet. But I should have went to StreamYard. I didn't think about that. Right now, the only donations that I would be able to take, because I'm not monetized on YouTube, would either be through locals or my other website, which is buymeacoffee.com/American Alex Cardinelli. Yeah, YouTube has this weird rule where if you're monetized somewhere you're not supposed to be, then they'll make sure you never get monetized. So that's why I decided to come up with locals and Buy Me a Coffee. They both work directly with YouTube for smaller channels, so I won't ever get in trouble if people decide, you know what, we're going to support Alex, we'll send them some money. I won't get in trouble through YouTube that way. But I will let other YouTubers know that unfortunately, there are companies that will reach out to smaller YouTubers claiming to get them monetized. But unfortunately, it's an illegal scam. And what ends up happening is you lose your YouTube channel because you end up giving them your YouTube information, which is the username, the channel ID, and a link to your YouTube. And what that hacker ends up doing is somehow they end up getting all your information, your credit card information, and they take money from you. And that's why YouTube has decided to be very strict when it comes to people sending money to subscribers. To content creators. The only reason I know about that is because one of my cooking channels that I'm subscribed to actually had that happen, and he had to start all over, and he's actually quitting YouTube now because he's not getting the views that he got before. So it's very, very sad. So I'm going to put up the buymeacoffee.com link for you guys. Let me just get it going. And then I'm going to see if I can somehow get my friend Garcia on here. There has to be a way I can get him on a YouTube live stream. Oh, here we go. Okay. I was going to say my computer just froze again. All right. And now I'm going to see if I can get... Darn. Let me just move my camera really quick so I can type. Okay. Alright, so I gotta find the invite button on here. That way you can come on here. Oops. Let's see. Let me go to my YouTube studio on the computer. Maybe I can do it from there. Alright. Let's see. There's got to be a way that I could do it. Okay, we're back now. All right, let's see. Oh, now I gotta verify my YouTube. All right, so I have to wait till they verify me so I can send a invite link. Let's see. Oh, that's strange. No, that's not what I want. Unless I create another live stream on StreamYard and then I'll invite you through that one. We could do that too if we have to. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go live with Garcia on StreamYard. So we're gonna end this video for now, and then I'll go live on another live stream, and my friend Garcia can join me there if he would like. So let's end this one.